Welcome back. Yes, it might be a dramatic entrance or a dramatic exit. Well, David, sometimes language, it's so fascinating, it can just get its hooks into you.
It is. I love just leafing through the dictionary and being surprised by the words I find or the stories behind the words. And this one I was just delighted to discover just recently. And I'll start with a German word, and it's one I have to speak carefully, and it's Krapf, K-R-A-P-F, Krapf. And it's actually the German word for hook. And not surprisingly, it's where we get the word grapple, because if you engage in a wrestle, that you're often trying to gather advantage or hook the other person. But the word that surprised me is the word grape is related to the German word for hook. And when I discovered that, I thought, well, of course, a grapevine grows and it has its small tendrils that hook around a lattice.
That's right, and help it climb up.
That's not the reason why it's related to hook.
Oh.
In fact, the French word crepe, C-R-A-P-E, once described a harvesting device. Because grapes are actually quite inaccessible, you need to either have a ladder or an instrument that helps you unhook the grapes from their vantage point. And this instrument was called a crepe. And the word transferred to describe the bunches that you were harvesting. So it is amazing to think that when people are grappling, the same word is also underpinning that idea of a beautiful grape, bunch of grapes hanging from the vine.
Great backstory. Thank you, David. Let's have a look at those scores, and they are absolutely equal. We have a very close competition tonight. Victor and John, both on 14 points as we head into our next letters game. And John, you to choose.
Let's grab a vowel to start with this time, please.
Thanks, John. I.
Grab another vowel.
O.
Consonant.
B.
Another consonant.
R.
A vowel.
U.
A consonant.
D.
A vowel.
A.
A consonant.
Y.
And then one final vowel, please.
And last letter, I.
Thanks, Lily. Time starts now. How many for you that time, John?
I got 5 again.
5?
5 that time.
Let's start with your 5, please, Victor.
Braid, B-R-A-I-D.
And yours, John?
Bored.
I hope you're not, but I presume the spelling is B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-E-D.
That's right. And in fact, without an E and also an absolute glut of vowels, this was a particularly brutal mix, Lily. And in fact, the best that I could find, of course, both those words are OK from John and Victor, was broady, a colloquialism. That's B-R-O-A-D-Y, and it's that sort of sideways kick when you start a motorbike or do a sort of sliding skid.
Very interesting. Thank you, David. But 5 points each for Victor and John. Well, the scores are still tied, and let's see if our next letter game changes that. Victor, your choice.
Start off with a consonant, please.
Thanks, Victor. R.
A vowel.
E.
A consonant.
B.
And a vowel, please.
I.
A consonant.
F.
Vowel, please.
A.
A consonant.
S.
Another consonant.
N.
Finish off with a vowel, please.
And last letter, E.
Thank you, Lily. Here's the clock. How did you go with that mix, Victor?
I'm going to try a risky 7.
A risky 7 sounds good. What about you, John?
Might go risky 8 then.
That sounds even better. Well, hold that risky 8 for a moment. Let's go with the 7 first, Victor.
Seraphin, S-E-R-A-F-I-N.
OK, well, David's diving for the dictionary, but what was yours, John?
Fire bands?
OK, well, there's a couple of challenges for you, David.
Well, let's look at seraphim first, even though it's a shorter word, just to see if it is a word. And seraphim, S-E-R-A-F-I-N, I'm sorry, Victor, is not listed, not here in the short source dictionary. Taking us to fire bands. Now, let's have a look. Certainly that's a very relevant phrase that we hear in summer, but is it a word? Fire ant, firearm, fireball. In fact, fire band, the phrase is not listed, let alone the word. So I'm sorry, John, and the best that I could find was frisbee for 7.
Something nice to play with anyway. Thank you, David. Bad luck to Victor and John on that occasion, so no change in the scores. They are still deadlocked on 19 all. And we have another chance to split that deadlock with the numbers that we're about to use now. John, would you provide them?
Yeah, well, I think after that pulsating letters going, you may as well test the poker player and go for 6 small numbers.
6 small numbers. OK, 6 small numbers it is.
That's an unusual choice, isn't it, Lily?
I don't know if my brain's up to it at this later stage of the week, but let's have a go. 6 small numbers. 9, 1, 10, 4, 7, 5. And the target number is 741.
Interesting challenge, 30 seconds. Well, John, you threw down the gauntlet in spectacular fashion there. How did you go?
No good at all, Richard.
Well, 6 smalls. Victor, what about you?
No good.
No good. I must say, we haven't had 6 selected very often. In fact, I'm trying to remember the last time, Lily. It doesn't happen often, does it?
That's right. John stretched me to my limits, I think. I got there in the end.
You did get there?
I did.
Oh, well done.
And here's how you do it. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 by 9 is 81. 81 minus 7 is 74. And here we go. By the 10 is 740. Add the 1. 741.
Oh. Well, the applause is always well-deserved, Lily, but I think especially so given that challenge. Great result. Unfortunately, nothing for Victor and John in that round. They are still tied on 19 all as we head for another break. That's another word mix, of course. It's raise weight. And the clue this time, Zeppelin's method of getting to heaven. See you after the break.